Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. Today I wanted to do a flip through of my altered book. This is a recipe card holder that I've turned into a mixed media altered book. So it was a binder style recipe book that I got from a thrift shop. And I've taken the recipe cards and I've made mixed media pieces and turned this into a beautiful altered book. I have a video on how I did this cover if you want to learn how to make a mixed media cover. It's very textured and there's all kinds of interesting things in it, like puzzle pieces, little mini puzzle pieces, antique buttons, glass beads, all kinds of things on the cover, and that video shows the complete steps on how to create a cover like that. So I start with an old binder recipe book, and this one I just got from a thrift shop for $1 in the dollar bin, and it's got a very nice hardcover, and then the cards inside, the recipe cards, are what I would use to cover and make into mixed media pieces. So completely altering the cover and the inside parts of the book and the inner parts of the book. So that's what I use to create a project just like what I'm about to show you. On the back of the book, I have a dangle that I used a crocodile to punch a hole directly in the cover of the book and a jump ring, and then I've created this altered puzzle piece. It was a wooden puzzle piece, pretty large, and I altered it and added layers upon layers of stuff. So there's metal pieces, there are glass beads, there are images, pattern, sewing pattern that says the grain of fabric, sparkly things, pieces of material. On the back side there's a vintage girl, a little mini puzzle piece, rubber stamping, glass beads, a little metal key with a string tied to it. And then hanging off of that, I took a Scrabble tile and I chose one with an X, and then on the back side I have X marks the spot. I have marks the spot for X marks the spot, and then glass beads hanging from the bottom. So I just did some wire wrapping to make the complete dangle to hang down the back of the book. So that's what that looks like, and I love it. It just adds such a pretty element to the back part of the book. So the front, it is tied with sari silk. Again, holes punched right through the hardcover of the book, and then I tied sari silk to make a closure to hold the book closed. And in the front of the book, I absolutely love making paper dolls. If you've seen some of my other things, I did a paper dolls altered book, and I've got to have a paper doll starting out my book. So here's my cute paper doll. She's just really darling. She's got some lace that I sewed on and some interesting elements, some vintage rickrack, and she has a little hat that is a tray of a tea set and then a tea bag tag hanging from it. On one side it says make art, and on the other side it's a Good Earth tea bag that says change is the essence of life, surrender who you are for what you could become. So that is hanging from her little hat, and it has the words keep a song in your heart on the cover of the book. The inside of the book was covered with material. It is just cotton batik material that was Mod Podged to the inside cover of the book. So now let's get started and I'll show you the mixed media cards that I created. I wanted this book to be positive sayings. This is a book for myself to lift me up when my spirits are low and I'm having a bad day. This is going to be sitting on my end table next to my couch, and I can just pick it up and look at my pretty pieces of artwork and read the sayings, and it'll lift my spirits. So I encourage you to make an altered book like this. It would make a great gift as well, so it's something to consider. And I have a couple of videos on the actual cards, so I'm going to link all that in the description box below. There will be a playlist, and all the videos that relate to this altered book project will be in that playlist. So my first card is a tri-folded card, and it says, "When things don't go right," and when you open it, it says, "Go left." And then it opens to this big layout, and then it says, "And make the best of it." So when things don't go right, go left and make the best of it. And this was a tri-fold. You know the pieces of junk mail you get in the mail, and they're cards and they're advertisements for things, and they're tri-folded? I just took that and I punched holes in it to fit in my book, making sure that the size was the right size, and then I covered it with pieces of book text and scrapbook paper, and then decorated it and did all my little mixed media projects. So here's what that card looks like. So there's my little forlorn girl for when things don't go right, and a broken heart, and splatters on the artwork when things don't go right. Go left. So it's got textures, a lot of fibers and things, material. That's one of the Tim Holtz butterflies. I used embroidery floss to sew it on to the page. And then this page I did a video on, so I'll have a link to that page on how to create this beautiful array of flowers, this garden of flowers, using Dina Wakley papers. And the next card on the back of that one, on the back of this trifold, is my favorite poem, which is Desperata. So I just did a cute border. It was very big, the poem's very long, and so I just did a fun paper border around my poem. This card, the saying says, "In Japan, broken objects are often repaired with gold. The flaw is seen as a unique piece of the object's history which adds to its beauty. Consider this when you feel broken." And it's got a bowl, and then I used gold paint to make the gold places where the bowl has been repaired. This was a rubber stamped image, and then I used gesso and acrylic paint to paint in the flowers. This is rubber stamped as well, and then it is embossed, so if you can see, it's shiny. And then stencils for the background. I did a crackle stencil of Tim Holtz to make cracks, since that goes with the saying. And then this is book text that's out of a book that's has Oriental writing. And that rubber stamp was gifted to me in some Happy Mail, and it's splattered with gold paint. So it's fun to create these little mixed media pieces. This one, I may add a crown to my dog or a hat of some sort, but I just love this page. It's so cute. It's just a fun stenciled background. I got that dog out of a Better Homes and Gardens magazine, and it's just too cute. And then the saying is, "Handle every stressful situation like a dog. If you can't eat it or play with it, just pee on it and walk away." I love that saying, and that is so fun, but I think my dog needs a hat, so I may go back and add a hat to my dog. This page I did a video on. It is a collage of animals that are all balancing on top of each other, and it is Life is a Balancing Act. So I'll leave the link to doing that page. This card's fun. It is a collage girl, fun and funky background, and she's got a cleanser can, Old Dutch cleanser that's out of a 1900s magazine. There's all kinds of owls and fun things. She's got big funky shoes. And it's broken crayons, still color is the saying on that page. So once you add book text to both sides of your card, and you're using the cards from the recipe book, they're really sturdy. They're very heavy and sturdy. And then I just used a hole punch to punch the holes in it. And they're all different sizes. So some are big, some are small, some go in this way. It just adds some interest to my book. So here's a little small one. And the saying on this one, everyone has inside them a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't yet realize how great you can be, how much you can accomplish, and what your potential is. That was Anne Frank who wrote that. I like that. It's very textured. And then you flip it, and on the back of this one, which I sewed on a sewing machine in just a wild pattern, and then it's got lots of texture over it. So it's got pieces of mesh, some textured flowers that were little Jolie flowers, and some dyed cheesecloth, and then a fun background. And this is, you only have one body, respect it. You only have one mind, feed it. You only have one life, live it and enjoy it. Very good thought. And then this one, I think I did a video on this one too. I hope so. I believe so. It's a collage. Maybe not. It's a collage that is very, very collaged. I mean, there's all kinds of different images and papers. Circles I punched. Painted. Yeah, I did a video on this. Painting, doing a dot mandala. Lots of little fun bits and pieces that just make this cool image. Vintage images from that 1800s magazine. And it's I choose to live light and shine bright. I love that card. And then there's this one. This is a packing tape transfer, a fun collaged background, vintage images. The bird cage is rubber stamped. The eyes are rubber stamped. This is stenciling. Lots of fun things on this page. And it's stand in your own space and know you are there. That's the saying. And there's this one. This doesn't have a saying, but it is a card that has a very textured image. And this is laced. And then this is sewn on. The bottom of a skirt is sewn on. That's pretty cute. And then when you flip it, you've got this fun image. This fairy with her sparkling twinkle heart pasties, and it says spoil me. And then it's covered in this material that lets the face show through. And then on this side opposite it, I used a mica tile and some eyelets to put the mica tile down, and then very textured, I believe I used napkin images and book images. These little pieces were cut on a Cricut, and then it makes a nice window. So it's the girl on this side shows through the window, and then when you flip it, now she shows through the window. And then it's just fun and textured on the background. And then this one is Be Happy, and there's my bee girl. Lots of fun textured painted background and bees, and her wings are sparkly, and they have tulle over them to make them textured. So Be Happy. And this one has hummingbirds coming out of a hummingbird nest, and that is modeling paste over a stencil of a face. And then on this side, my bird with a crown. I think I may have done a video on this one. If so, I'll add it to the links. And it's the happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. Lots of collage, lots of rubber stamping. Here are those same flowers again. This was the first one that I did. I did this card, and I just loved how it came out, and so I thought, oh, I want to do a video and show people how to do this because it was so much fun. So that three-dimensional flip flower garden is the same as this, but I did a video doing the threefold one, the trifold one. This is your life is your garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. If your life isn't awesome, you've been watering the weeds. And then this one I used vintage images from the 1892 Century magazine, so all the images are from that. They're just so pretty. I love them. Corset, and then at the bottom of the corset I used sewing pattern tissue to make her skirt, and then I did a stamped saying that says, "I think I was born in the wrong era." I love that page. That's probably my favorite page in the book. And then this one is a fairy in a garden. She's rubber stamped, and I double stamped the wings to make them three-dimensional. And then I did a lot of texture pieces. This was a texture piece I had done for something else and I didn't like it, so I tore it into pieces and added it for texture to the back of this card. And then stamped bees. And the saying on this one is, "Why not? A slogan for an interesting life." So why not? It's a good thing to ponder. And this is live, create, tell the story, and stay curious. This was an angel that I drew, and I used lace to make her wings, so I glued on the lace for her wings. There's three-dimensional flowers. They were just K & Company scrapbooking flowers, but I painted them and changed them up, and I splattered them with gold paint and made them a little bit different, altered them. But she's got a little wire halo, if you can see that, and very painted, splattered, textured background with torn pieces of paper and whatnot. And this one, that was Dina Wakley paper, express, create, spill, make art, make a mess, because art soothes the heart. And that's very textured too. The letters are textured and raised and then embossed with clear embossing powder. And this cute little card is long and it goes this way. And it says, "Leave a little sparkle wherever you go." So there's lots of sparkle on that page. Another Tim Holtz butterflies that are sewn on with embroidery floss. And on the back side, "I will dare to just do what I do. Be just what I am and dance to whatever I want to." And it's just got lots of texture, fibers, layers. These are circles that are punched out of, actually they're circles cut out of material. It was beautiful batik material, and I don't know if you've ever tried Mod Podging material down to your mixed media project, but it's just so beautiful, the feeling and colors and textures. And this one's just collaged. I think that image came from a Flow magazine, possibly. And then this collage is Transform, and this is a butterfly girl with moths and butterflies coming out the top of her head. She's got fibers, and it says Transform. It's the definition from a dictionary, and she's holding onto a caterpillar on a branch. And this is my Garden Whisperer. And then this cute one, this bunny holding a clutch purse, and she's got a leather nose, and I used thread to make her little whiskers, and the card says, "My bunny escaped from her rabbit hutch. Now she's hopping around clutching a clutch." So it's a bunny holding a clutch purse. And then there's this one, "Always accept yourself the way you are." Then she pondered. And that's just a fun, beautiful collage. That's my second favorite. It's got goldfish and old postage stamps and napkin images and mandala that I drew. Lots of fun stuff. These are so much fun to create, these little cards. This one, If Only. It's got three-dimensional butterflies, so they're on thick paper so that they look like they're actually flying off the page. See if you can see from the side. And so they look like they're flying out of the teacup. The teacup was a rubber stamp, and then I used glossy accents over it so it looks like china, and it's got a tea bag tag coming out of it. Create more positive moments in your life. Replace if only with next time. So it's if only, and then it's got the saying about changing that negative into a positive. And this cute one, be quiet, be calm, be grateful. This one has a lot of texture. I used lace with Mod Podge or Matte Gel Medium, little letters that I punched out with a little letter punches. This cute little image that I tinted. So that's just a real cute, fun one too. This cute owl, I used a Posca pen and I did a mandala and doodled the owl. I used some glossy accents on the eyes to make them look real. Acrylic paint to make the branches and leaves. Three-dimensional background that's got some punched out circles from the inside of security envelopes. And the saying is, there is more in us than we know. If we can be made to see it, perhaps for the rest of our lives we'll be unwilling to settle for less. And then this pretty one is a Alfonso Muncha that I tinted. This came out of a very, very old, I think 1902 magazine. And then I tinted it. It was all black and white, so I tinted the flowers. And then these are were from an embossing plate. And then these little black flowers are embossed and raised. And the saying on it is, the only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. And then the last one in the book is, may you always know angels walk with you. That's just a little acrylic painting that I did. So there's the inside of the book that is material. And there's what the back side of it looks like. Textured, lots of fun things to see. So I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I really enjoyed making this book. It was just one of those projects where you can just grab a card. I would put the base layer on the recipe cards and have a pile of them dry and ready to go. So whenever I felt like doing a quick mixed media project, I'd grab out one of the cards and do a mixed media piece on the front as my substrate. So give this a try. Lots of fun. Makes a beautiful book. Stands up. Tie it to hold it closed. And it makes a beautiful gift or something just for yourself, just to make you happy. Go make art, because art soothes the heart. So thanks for stopping by, and check out the playlist to see all the videos on how I created some of the mixed media pieces within the book and the cover. And a quick shout out to those who have bought me a cup of coffee or tipped my tip jar in the last 2 weeks. A thank you goes out to Lindsay and Tracy. So thank you so much. Every time I receive a cuppa, I put that aside, and that helps me buy my art supplies. So thank you so much, and I hope you're enjoying my little mixed media projects.